I keep seeing an advertisement, maybe you guys have seen it, where someone from the United States Postal Service is coming to a house and suddenly bumps into Santa Claus. They're both delivering a package to that house. So they start to trade notes. You know, Santa gets his big book out and shows the postal worker, here's the naughty and nice list. And then the postal worker pulls out a phone, sees how she's tracking. A little more old school than a little more new school than the old school. At the end of the commercial, the narrator says the United States Postal Service makes more holiday deliveries to homes than anyone else in the country, with one notable exception: Santa. So you could say the United States Postal Service and Santa are in the same business. They just use a different kind of magic. The post office brings many presents every Christmas. If you have a friend or you yourself are in the postal office, you know how busy they are. They could, for any lucky child, you might get a Christmas letter. You might get a Hatchimal. For those that don't know what a Hatchimal is, it's essentially this little toy bird that literally cracks out of an egg. It learns from the person having it. It does different things. It has different moods. While I may not get the draw for this toy, I cannot deny the absolute excitement that my niece Delaney had when she received hers last Christmas. Why are we talking about postal workers? Well, last week we talked about signs. This week we're going to talk about messengers. Today's texts, each and every one of them, talk about messengers. Now, God used many different people to be his messengers, most notably angels. You know, the angel Gabriel goes to give a message to Mary to say, you will bear a son, and you will call him Emmanuel. There were judges. They were messengers by God of a different thing. They reigned on behalf of God. Samson, for those that don't know, he was a judge sent as a messenger for God. And then, of course, prophets. Prophets come to tell the truth. They come to show you God has spoken to them, and so now they're telling you what God has said. Isaiah is a prophet we hear from a lot, especially around Christmas. Wayne, you want to give me a new mic? Thank you. Postal Service may bring those presents you bought off Amazon or Etsy, but they also bring bills, those annoying ads that they stuff in every single box. God's messengers bring messages that God's people will be restored. And also that, not just that, but also the bad things. God also sends messengers to give messages of punishment when people have turned away. 1 second. Thank you. Hopefully this will do better. Less feedback. So like I said, Postal Service, they don't just bring gifts, but they also bring bills. They also bring these free and these annoying ads. And God's messengers don't just bring these sunshine and rainbow messages. They also come to tell the Israelites, things have gone wrong, and you will be punished. Malachi speaks of a messenger that will come to clean everyone up because the Lord is offering. The Lord is coming, and the Lord needs an offering which can only be of ourselves. So he talks about a refiner's fire, something to purify, something to clean like Fuller's soap, that does more than just clean, but actually takes away anything in its path. Similarly, John the Baptizer in our gospel text speaks of flattening the whole earth, bringing up all the valleys. It's like a bulldozer so that everyone can walk the straight path to God. John, the one who speaks in the wilderness, speaks of a time when all flesh shall see the salvation of God. You know, we live in a pretty flat part of the state. I grew up in Iowa, which many people would probably consider super, super flat. The joke in Iowa is if your dog runs away, you can watch it run away for about 3 days before it gets out of your view. I remember in my town there's a bell tower, and it's 168 feet tall from bottom to tip. And it can, if you get at 150 feet, there's windows where you can look out. And Jefferson is so flat that from that 150-foot tall perch, 9 miles away, you can see Scranton's water tower. 7 or 8 miles away, you can see Grand Junction's water tower. You can almost just faintly see these blinking red lights, which is Carroll, Iowa, 30 minutes away. It's so flat that everyone can see. And that's what John's talking about. He's making it so flat so that all can see the salvation of God. Now, the message that John the Baptist is bringing is not just one of, hey, be ready. The message that John the Baptist is bringing is the news of Jesus. Jesus is coming to town. You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout. I'm telling you why. Jesus is coming to town. This is the one that everyone will see. This is the one that will make sure everyone knows the salvation of God. They will come to see the salvation of God in His deeds, in the things He does on earth, in the crown of thorns that they lay on His head, and on the throne, which isn't a chair like these big nice chairs right here. Instead, His throne is a cross, which He doesn't get to sit on, but He's hung from. Please note that John's message was Jesus. Messengers carried messages. His was Jesus. God's message to the people of this world is always Jesus. Jesus did not come to this world as another one of God's messengers. Jesus was the message. He is and was God's message of love to the world. He is the one who cleans us like a fire refines and a soap cleans. When we think of all the dirt we have, all the imperfections, all the things we get wrong, Jesus is the one who makes us clean. Jesus is the bulldozer that removes all obstacles standing between us and God. If we want to get to God, Jesus very simply says, go through me. Another thing about messengers is that they are always sent by someone. You know, our postal workers, our United States Postal Service, they are government employees sent by the government to bring their mail. Angels, judges, and prophets are sent by God to relay a message. The message of Jesus Christ is not only from 2,000 years ago, but it still lives with us today. The message of Jesus Christ's love for the world rests in each and every one of us. His love, His restoration always lives on in us. From the moment the waters of baptism rushed over our head, and from the moment we have come to know what Jesus did for our lives, we have been called to be messengers of that message that lies within our hearts. We have been called to be messengers, just like John the Baptist was so long ago. We are called to share the good news of Jesus Christ, to share the love of God. Now, the message we are called to bring is not a bill. It's not something that somebody owes God in order to get it. And it's not like that gift from Amazon, Etsy. It's not the Xbox that's coming in the mail. Because again, someone had to pay for that. Maybe you or another person. No, the message of Jesus is like those annoying free ads that are stuffed in everyone's box. Freely given. You don't have to do anything to earn it. Every one of us has a P.O. box in God's heavenly house, and guess what? You'll find filled, is just shoved in there, is that free gift of grace in Jesus Christ. St. Lucy, the one I was going to talk about this morning, she shared this love in a very certain way. She carried this love, not in the form of something, in a metaphorical sense. She literally carried this love by carrying bread to bring to Christians who were hiding from the Romans who wanted to kill him. And she was carrying so much bread that she couldn't hold a candle as she walked through this cave. So what did she do? She made a little headset, put candles around them, so that they could guide her to where God's love was needed for these hungry Christians hiding. And it calls us to ask the question, if we are messengers of God, how might we be called this week or in our near future to share that message with others? We are messengers, sharing the good news of Jesus Christ. We let everyone know that yes, the United States Postal Service and Santa make more deliveries during the holiday season than anyone else in the country. But God brought to us the greatest package of all to a small town of Bethlehem 2,000 years ago. Now, Jesus isn't a Hatchimal, which grows and is a lot of fun. No, but he's better than that. Because Jesus Christ grew to be our Savior and Lord. Amen. We continue.